In today's gaming news, Divinity Original Sin Early Access is now available, Clay's Incognito gets a name change, and we talk about the upcoming Warhammer 40k MMO, Eternal Crusade. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Force here with your day's gaming news. First up today, Divinity Original Sin is now available through Steam's Early Access. This is the upcoming top-down turn-based RPG from Larian Studios and the next installment in the Divinity franchise. In this game, you play as one of two characters and you go through this very immersive RPG experience in a very interactive world. Now, if you buy into the Early Access version of the game, there are roughly 15 hours of gameplay. They are planning to do consistent updates. However, the saves between those updates are not compatible. So that means if you start playing now, a great update happens and then you come back, you can't pick up where you left off. You have to start from scratch. It even says on the early access page, and kudos to Larian for saying this, if you're not interested in playing an incomplete, buggy version of the game, early access isn't for you. And frankly, I think this should be said on every early access page, and we're starting to see it more and more often. In the last Force feed, we talked about how this early access regular occurrence that's happening in the industry can be bad in a few ways, one of which is it can leave people with a very bad first impression. And as we all know, first impressions are pretty important. So if you buy into this, realize it's not finished, and you really need to be all about going through the development of the game and assisting the development of the game, and not hoping for a finished product, because that is not what you are going to get here. Next up in news, Clay Entertainment's upcoming turn-based procedurally generated espionage game was once called Incognito. It is now called Inviible? Oh, Invisible. It's Invisible. Invisible with a question mark is the new name. Invisible Inc. to be precise. I wanted to let you guys know about this rebranding because it's not very often that a company, especially a company as, a well-respected company like Clay, come out and say, hey, this is the name of our new game, get excited for it, and then partway through development, just completely change the name. So don't search for Incognito anymore if you're looking for information about this game. Search for Invisible Inc. There is an early access version of this game as well. I'm telling you guys, early access is everywhere. I think you can buy in for about 17 bucks. It'll generate a Steam key. It's not actually available on Steam though. You'd have to buy into it through the website. I know a few people have covered early builds of this game. Off the top of my head, and I think Total Biscuit has done a video, and I'm sure a few other gaming personalities here on YouTube. So search Incognito for video coverage of the game, but if you actually want to play the game, search for Invisible Inc. I know, it's very strange, but Invisible Inc. is the brand new name of Clay's upcoming game. And last up in news today, I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about the upcoming Warhammer 40k MMO, Eternal Crusade. Eternal Crusade is going to be a PvP-focused game set in the Warhammer universe. Now, this game used to actually be called Warhammer 40k Dark Millennium Online back when it was being published by THQ and developed by Vigil. As we all know, THQ went under, Game Workshop then came out and said, we've got a new game, Warhammer 40k Eternal Crusade, and it's being developed by Behavior Interactive. An article was posted up today on MMORPG.com talking a little bit about this game. So it's a PvP-focused title that's supposed to be taking influence from a game like PlanetSide 2, and when I hear that, I just assume, multi-factional combat where you're pushing for bases and supply lines and things of that nature. Now, in the current state, the game has the 4 races of Eldar, Space Marines, Chaos, Orcs, and there are supposed to be more coming in the future. The gameplay itself, according to the MMORPG article, feels very similar to Warhammer 40k Space Marine. That, if you don't remember, was the third-person shooter game in the Warhammer universe, and it was actually very well received. The gameplay itself, I personally really enjoyed it, and lots of many other people enjoyed it as well. So if this MMO can take notes from that and take the grand PvP scale of a game like PlanetSide 2, I think that's a good foundation. I think that's absolutely a good place to start. Now, once again, as I mentioned, there is an article over on MMORPG.com right now, and they will be posting more articles about the game throughout the course of this week, including some pre-alpha gameplay footage. Of course, we have to say it's pre-alpha gameplay footage. It's not finished, but apparently, according to the article, even in its early state right now, the gameplay feels very tight, very similar to Space Marine. So if you liked that game and you want to be able to play as different classes in the Warhammer universe in this big open PvP environment, well then Warhammer 40k Eternal Crusade might just be the game for you. Now I'm not sure how far off we are from launch on this title, but now that more information is coming out, I will be keeping an eye on it, and anytime major updates happen, I'll let you guys know about it. So that's gonna do it for today's episode of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please be sure to comment in the comment section below about any of the topics discussed here today. Once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force-fed. Inviible. Inviible? Inviible? Inviible. That's the name. Clay's new game, Inviible. Inviible.